Right, we're gonna try to finish this up, but there's just so much stuff in here. What an amazing article this was. I mean, I guess you actually had quality writing in metal magazines back in the day. Like I said with Terrorizer, I don't see Terrorizer on the stands anymore, so I assume they're kaput. But right, the blackest of arts, right, the art and aesthetics of black metal. The term aesthetics, right, like myth or mythology. It's a kind of misrepresented word now. Okay, aesthetics, mythology doesn't mean something is not true, and aesthetics are not just the surface of something. Right, aesthetics mean something. The inner meaning comes through in art. Art that is, from a real place. I don't know how else to say it. Right? And they mentioned how, of course, the whole idea of black metal too is what you are not getting expensive commissioned painted covers or like some of the death metal bands like the Dan Seagrave art, very intricate, but death metal was black metal was the opposite, right? The aesthetics, you have like not a lot of money, so you're borrowing actual artwork that's public domain or replicas of or inspired by. You're also doing photo collages, right? They mentioned the medium here, right? The various artistic styles in black metal: pencil or pen illustration, brush to canvas, photography, right? Crude cut and paste Xerox collages and their layouts. That's kind of from like the cross punk influence, borrowing stuff from classical masterpieces, and even mixed media collage. Those are actually I like those. Very dada, right? And of course, using bodily fluids. That's always like I mean, it's like Kiss. Oh, they put the blood in the ink in the comic book. Remember? They go through the whole thing with Black Sabbath, right? The group Coven, the satanic ritual band known for the hit they used to play on CBS all the time, One Tin Soldier, which was a very non-metal song, but apparently they were really about all this stuff, right? And going through, of course, Alice Cooper, Kiss. You go through, when we get to Venom, we get to black metal proper, right? Remember the Kronos drew the cover, right? I think he made the logo too, right? You have him. Venom is essentially the way that Venom dressed, the aesthetics of it, of just how you look, and I argued it more than people would say with the music, but yeah, pretty much when you see them in the cover, in the pictures in there, you see what black metal bands are gonna look like, And they just don't have face paint, but you already have corpse paint, with these guys here. Okay? And you have a famous Norwegian band that is the link to these awesome bands. By the way, I love Kiss. Sorry, Kiss is a great band. So the music's good, and Alice Cooper I'm an even bigger fan of, but. Going through here, of course, Merciful Fate, another link to Kiss, right? That's a whole other thing, man. It would be cool if you had more black metal dudes that were singing like, King Diamond, but you can see how that goes. So people overlook black and white illustration. They mention right Chris Moyen, right, and of course I'm always going to mention the link to the awesome cover. Finland's most influential black metal band, Björk. Right? His predominantly black and white illustrations feature demonic, goat-headed, Christ-defiling, nun-ravaging supermen. Oh, those spectral grim reapers and desiccated knights and priests directly influenced by Armando de Osorio's 70s Tomb of the Blind Dead horror films. Now you see where all this stuff connects. Okay, it's not just random stuff, man. These things all have connections. Horror. Okay, these guys are watching horror films. And of course, you also have another thing here with, of course, Celtic Frost. You had the H.R. Geiger. H.R. Geiger apparently lived in the same neighborhood as Tom G. Warrior, and so you remember the what is it? Why don't they not have Two Megatherion on here? That is an amazing album cover by Mr. Geiger. Rest in peace. And it was, they also go over here. They mention sometimes just straight up taking the art from like Harmonious, which I've been pronouncing Bosch, Durer, right? Gustav Dor. There's a book in Barnes and Noble. It's a Gustav Dor. Like almost all his art that he did. It's a huge coffee table book. It's like I think it's like I don't know how much it is. I feel like buying it because why should I save my money? I'm just a white man in Biden's America. I don't need to save money, right? And then we go now to photography. Now, I love photography as well. As being a visual artist, I like photography. Death Crush, right? The dismembered hand suspended from ropes. Right? Of course, Euronymous was gonna take a very infamous photograph not long after. You think of Discharge, right? The photos. Well, they always combine the photos in different ways. I also bring up Crass. Discharge and Crass are two of my favorite punk bands. So there's sort of like the whole thing is that, right, what, let's just take some artwork that's public domain and make it a cover. I don't have a lot of money. Let's draw something with a pen and ink. I don't have a lot of money. Let's take a photograph of something and I don't have a lot of money. You see what I'm getting at? So, and of course they're gonna, they're gonna go to Varg Vikernes. The artwork, always the early stuff, right, was done. I believe a woman drew his art, right? Aske, right, was a photo. His early art consisted of heavy slate gray and black fantastical illustration, right? Detsamengeva, right? And they mentioned, right, it's directly influenced by Dungeons and Dragon module, right? And then later, of course, he started using this great artist, man, Theodore Kittelson's artwork, right? A more classical Volkish style. It's you see the aesthetics of it. We're talking about just the art. Or Darkthrone. Remember Transylvania Hunger? Remember the artwork? I think it's like a charcoal painting, of the woods of Norway in it. That was very, very, very effective. So anyway, I could stay on this a lot, but you get what I'm saying. So you see the covers, right? Of course, the infamous cover. Fucking Euronymous, you're a son of a bitch, man. This poor bastard, you fucking. He got what he deserved. Right? Of course, Death Crush is the infamous. It's just photography, right? Like, oh, what a great, iconic. When Dead was alive, right? And of course, Welcome to Hell, very, and more, of course, simple photo, right? Of course, the more Theodore Kittelson art. And, Arkham Reporters don't like Dark Funeral. And right, Darkthrone, their early covers were essentially like photos, like heavily saturated. And Emperor just took more Gustav Dorf. That album, right? Anyway, and they mentioned, right, In the Night Side Eclipse. That is probably one of the top 10 album covers. They mentioned Satyrcon's Nemesis Divina, right? The mixed collage, right? Like David McKean, remember Arkham Asylum artist? They never really did a ton of that. I actually like collage art. It's like photography, sculpture, everything, painting mixed together in one, right? Not quite the perfect art as Wagner described, but anyway, enough of the art as Dora. Right? Look at this, man. So, and you can't, this is gonna be a video. Yes, it is. Logos from hell. Now with the logo, right? You look at the black metal logos. The thrash metal logos is where they get stylish, but then the black metal takes it to another level, and it sort of evolves from something you can read to something like, that is amazing. And then you have goes like Gore Noise, Gore Grind, where the logos are just undecipherable because they don't really bother even to write the words in there. But black metal still sort of has to have somewhere in there is this obscura monotonia anime. Anime, that's cool. Little known Italian black metal outfit with an indecipherable logo. I'm gonna find them out, listen to them just because of this awesome logo. We're gonna do it like Venom. They mentioned, right, the first Venom logo is looks like something from like a psychedelic poster, but they kind of refined it up, and man, it just looks fucking hot, man. Very, very new wave of British heavy metal, and of course, Biharat, right? And so Moyen also, look at this, man. How could you not like this? Like remember the old Death logo? Remember when they took away the spider web hanging from, I think, the E in the Death logo, and I was like, oh man, you're selling out, bro. You got rid of the spider hanging from the E, but of course, Biharet sort of changed their logo to something more like this awesome logo. It almost had like a Japanese feel to this for some reason. When you see like these things here on the side, it looks like, I don't know, like a fan, like a Chinese fan or something. But Biharet is just like, there's a candle, there's an upside down cross, it got horns, you got a claw, And then we get to the stuff like this, like whoa, absolutely. I never, I always heard of them, never listened to anything from them. Revenge, now that's a band, yo. Revenge, that's a style of black metal that I like, and of course they use negative space, right? You're seeing the black is actually only there because of the little bit of white, right? Fear of a anyway. But yeah, so I mean, you had to go over the logos. So and then I never heard of this band, the Ruins of Beverast. I actually went on YouTube to listen to this band. Very interesting, very interesting. Deep, low vocals. I think he's from Denmark, but and yeah, I'm gonna have to do another vid. Whatever, it's my channel. I could do what I want, and you could not watch it if you don't want, which is fine. So I mean, you gotta go over Darth. I mean, not having Varg and Bortsum in here was sort of a sin. But of course, I guess they couldn't talk to the guy, or probably, for all I know, at this point, 2009, my man, I think that was before the French pigs raided his house, where he was living, and put his kids up against the wall, sons of bitches, all for nothing, right? Maybe he didn't want it into. Maybe Terrorizers said, "Hey Varg, we want to do an issue. Can we talk to you?" And he probably said, "Fuck off." So, but the other cool dude, I mean, when you think of black metal, right, you think of Brutzum, but you also think of Fenris, right? Nocturnal Cult. You always think of Darkthrone. They're like sort of the two guys that can sort of, are still kind of cool, I guess you'd say. And they mention how they started out with death metal, right? And then they just go into just stripping it down into literally fuck you metal, right? Uh, I mean, they never really did like ambient stuff, but the guitars started to get very drone like. And of course, he mentions the influence of this group Vaughn, this black metal American band, on them, and it just goes over the thing. I think it's funny too, the humor that these guys have, right? And of course, not a reputation. He doesn't play the media game, but he's right. But he's sort of, is that a white hair? Yes, I'm getting old. He sort of is like he likes to take the piss. I like the idea that the guy, I think he's a postal worker in Norway, and I do my work, I come home, and then it's metal time and beer time. Varg always mentioned he would get like a case of beer and bring it to Hevelte, right? And I like the fact too that they kind of went that they said, you know what, we're gonna go back to the roots of the stuff, to like the punk part of it, and like the old bands. Yeah, he's a pisser too. I like this. I like how he goes. And this is the Nocturnal Cult of the vocalist. He does all the instruments. We don't play live, right? I don't want to play live, right? We don't play live. Oh, you because you're afraid you can't play live. Oh, please. We play live. We don't play live, right? So we can spend all our energy on the albums, right? This is our life project. We will still annoy people after all these years. Christian history shows that when they see free humans, they get scared. Oh, easy. Look at what they do. Look at these guys taking shots at Christianity. Very, very, very safe. See, they're not really rebels or anything. They're not really. Right. Peaceville threw them off for that. Yeah. But I want to just finish this off because this is how funny these guys are too. Like just like Typo Negative, and even Varg, man. Varg is a pisser. He's a funny guy. Right? They don't take themselves too damn seriously. All right. So when Christian history shows that when they say free humans, they get scared. Behold the free band Darkthrone. We are as free as a donkey's tail that whips and crushes flies and lice. All of a sudden, it doesn't sound that free, but we are, man. We are. Oh, man, dude. These guys, you know what? That's the sign, right? It's kind of a sense of humor in that regard. You have to be able to laugh at yourself. Because you'll definitely be crying when you're on this planet. And I was mentioned too, of course, the Transylvanian Hunger is the famous one, but they mentioned here the virtually unlistenable Under a Funeral Moon. Dude, Under a Funeral Moon is great, man. Talk about that is the raw, primitive black metal album, probably the If you put that in a dictionary, that album would be the example of, oh damn, dude, I could do this. And it's brilliant though. It's great. I love fucking Under a Funeral Moon. So Striborg, the guy from Tasmania, was very influenced by that. And you know, I never listened to this album. Fuck Off and Die. I need to. I like that they start clever and stupid. Well, and one more vid. I know you're gonna kill me, but I mean, come on, that was a lot to go over. Darkthrone and the aesthetics of black metal, the art. I mean, come on, man. This is required. This is what it's about.